Life is full of things to manage. Your work, your family, your plans, and your treatment. Consider Kesimpta, ofatumumab 20 milligram injection. You can take it yourself from the comfort of home. If you're ready for something different, ask your healthcare provider about Kesimpta and check out the details at kesimpta.com. Brought to you by Novartis Pharmaceuticals Corporation.
And we bring in Miranda Devine. Miranda, your column is so spot on. Who exactly is running the country? Certainly it appears to be Jill Biden. And based on that last cabinet meeting, it sure looks that way. Explain. And what does that mean for American leadership, not just here, but abroad too? My goodness.
Oh, it's just insane. And I have to apologize to you for the noise. But like everyone else in New York, I got caught in the traffic and couldn't get to a quiet place. But, yeah, look, I don't know. I don't actually think it's Jill Biden who's running the country, but it's certainly not Joe Biden. You just have to look at his just declining cognitive ability. The other day, he was supposed to be introducing the Indian Prime Minister, Narendra Modi, and he forgot what he was doing. I mean, how hard is it to keep the name of the person that you're spending the weekend with in your head when you're up there on stage to introduce somebody? He's just there shouting, "Who's on next?" And anyway, I mean, it's just embarrassing. It's very dangerous, I think, for the world to see how feeble our president is. And then, of course, on Friday, you had Jill Biden shows up in the cabinet meeting, the first one that Joe Biden has held for 11 months. And she's presiding at the head of the table and, you know, talking about her pet project, whatever it is. And, you know, everyone around the cabinet table is supposed to applaud her afterwards. It is absolutely ridiculous.
You know what was frightening, Miranda, because I was watching that when it happened live, and it was like Joe Biden could barely get the words out. I mean, a lot of people were obviously very critical of his performance in the debate. To me, it looked like he really has sadly degraded. I say sadly, you know, for America, too. My goodness. When you see it, he really... like he barely could get a couple words out, and then it was like maybe 5-10 seconds later, I'm passing it on to Jill now. It was like, what?
Yeah.
I mean, it was so stunning.
I think what that tells us is, as we've suspected for a long time, because I remember being on the campaign trail in 2020 in Iowa and New Hampshire and seeing him, it was obvious to everybody that he had lost many steps. He was very, you know, forgetful and had to have a teleprompter dragged around for just the most basic stump speech. And so 4 years later, obviously he's going to have gotten worse, and it's just the White House and Kamala Harris have been covering up for him all this time and telling us that he's hale and hearty and sharp as a tack and fit as a fiddle, etc., when he hasn't been, and it's been clear. They've been hiding him. They've been pumping him up with whatever they have to get him through various set pieces like the State of the Union sort of intact. And for some reason, they failed to do that before the debate, and it seems ever since he's not getting any help, you know, medicinal help, as he might have afterwards. So he's just letting it all hang out.
You know, and also, by the way, Peter, tomorrow he's supposed to address the UN. I mean, how's he going to do that, Peter King?
I don't know. You know, in politics, you always attack your opponent. You exaggerate. You do what you have to do. In this case, anything was said bad against Joe Biden was an understatement. I mean, I had no idea he was that bad. And what he showed at the debate, and tomorrow to have him go before the world as our leader, this can't help the United States.
No, I'm sure they'll have him, you know, prepped up, and he'll be reading from a teleprompter, so there probably won't be too many terrible gaffes. It's not that hard to read from a teleprompter, although he does make a meal of it.
Yeah, but just the way he looks, though. I mean, the whole look, he has a look of a doddering person, really.
And he feels like he's gotten a lot more feeble, Pete. I mean, I feel like even since the debate, like last week, it was stunning to me to see the contrast of how far he's gone downhill.
You know, we're on the edge of wars in so many locations, and, you know, the adversaries looking at that, I don't know if they're going to feel that challenged.
That's a great point. Your thoughts, Miranda?
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think it's a really dangerous situation, and people don't realize that, you know, we have him as president for another 4 months, and certainly our adversaries around the world realize that. And it's a great opportunity for them to do whatever dastardly deeds they want to do down America in that period.
So who's running things, Miranda? Because he's not running things. I don't think Jill Biden is necessarily, even though publicly it seems like she's running things. John was on this morning with Sid and talking about how maybe it's the behind, what is it, Obama or who? But the Bidens and Obama aren't so friendly after what Obama and Pelosi did to Biden.
No, well, I mean, I don't think if it is Barack Obama, he doesn't need to ask Joe Biden permission. He'll just do what he wants. And, whether he's pulling the strings or the people that he installed in the White House from his former administration with Joe Biden are doing that. I mean, certainly Antony Blinken and Jake Sullivan seem to be running world affairs by themselves and not very well at all. I mean, these are the guys who gave us, along with the generals and Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, the disastrous Afghanistan debacle. On their watch, we've had October 7, the Middle East is on fire. We have Russia invading Ukraine just as Russia stepped over the line when the Obama administration was in power, but not when Donald Trump was. And it's just outrageous that you've got President Zelensky from Ukraine now in a swing state of Pennsylvania being flown there by the U.S. military, by the taxpayer, to criticize Donald Trump in a swing state. It's incredibly dumb of him. It's tragic for the Ukrainian people. But that's election interference yet again by Ukraine.
Yeah, that is actually a stunning testament. Just like you said, boy, how political things have become. Wow. Miranda, thank you so much. We love having you here. And of course, the new book, The Big Guy, just out. Bravo to you, my friend. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Miranda.